Hello out there, AWAC here. Um, and I've been seeing some news stories crossing my Mastodon feed lately, which I felt I needed to comment on because I have direct knowledge pertaining to the subject at hand. And the stories I've been seeing are this. Basically, the headline reads, "Everything you say to your Echo, your Amazon Echo device, will be sent to Amazon starting on March 28th, which, as of this recording, is about a little over a week ago. And that comes from a story posted to Ars Technica. And basically what they're saying is that Amazon has announced that, let's see, what does it say? The Echo 4th Gen, the Echo 15, and the Echo Show 10, or the Echo Show 15, the Echo Show 10, starting on March 28th, recordings of every command spoken to the Alexa living in Echo speak. Alexa living in Echo speak. Okay, editor much? Every command spoken to the Alexa speakers and smart displays will automatically be sent to Amazon and processed in the cloud. And the service that apparently is being ended is that in the previous sentence clause, Echo users will no longer be able to set their devices to process Echo Alexa requests locally and therefore avoid sending voice recordings to Amazon's cloud. So I have a little bit of knowledge about this because a few years ago, for about 3 years, I used to work for Amazon Lab 126 in the Alexa devices group. And so I know something about how these devices behave and how they're built. So just to go over in fact, when I was there, let me flip back over here. I was working on this little guy down here called the Echo Flex. For lack of a better term, it's basically a wall wart that you plug into your kitchen or your bathroom or your bedroom, and its use case was to extend the Amazon home control network, because people weren't willing to pay, what, $40, $50, $100 for a full Echo device. And Echo's, as good as the microphones can be, the Echo can't hear you from 3 rooms away. So they thought, well, let's make some cheaper devices to plug in every room in the house, and they'll relay the instructions up. And so people will be able to control their lights or their other home control devices, and basically fill out the control framework. And on the bottom of this, and hang on, in the bottom of this, like, where is it? Right under here, that you can't see in this photo, is a little USB port into which you can plug little peripherals such as a nightlight or a time of day display or a presence detector to again fill out the home control network. And that's the part that I worked on. So what they're talking about, so the platforms that they named that they are eliminating local control over are the Alexa Show 10, and they had actually started working on this just as I was leaving Amazon. And it's basically this base sits on your counter or your shelf or what have you, and then the camera up here watches you, and then the display will swivel to follow you around, presumably to like maintain your presence in a Zoom call or something like that. Yeah, okay, fine. That was an interesting idea. Echo Show 15, which is a picture frame that sits on the wall, and the Echo 4th Gen, which I called the bowling ball or the bocce ball or what have you. So these are the products that apparently local control was supported and is no longer. However, the Echo device I suspect most people have is this guy, which I called the hockey puck. It's just a little, just this little thing. There is not a lot of CPU in here, and local control was never supported on this, as far as I'm aware. So everyone's saying, okay, everything you say is going to be streamed to the cloud. Let me explain to you the things as I understand. I've got an Echo hockey puck here. I think this is a Gen 3. I'm not sure. It's got a display on the front. So, yes, your Alexa device is listening to you all the time. All these microphones are on. They are listening to audio all the time. And what they are listening for is the wake word. The little CPU in here is spinning madly, analyzing the audio, waiting for you to say the wake word. Only after this device thinks it has heard the wake word does it open up a network port and start streaming audio up to Amazon's cloud, because Amazon has much bigger computers and they can analyze the audio and do a better job up there. If you're concerned about that, if you're concerned about these devices mishearing a wake word and streaming a bunch of audio upstream, this device, also the EchoFlex has this button too, but this device, there's a button on here with a circle on it with a line through it. That is the mute button. You push the mute button lights up red, the ring lights up red, the microphones are electrically disconnected from the CPU, and Alexa cannot hear a thing. Furthermore, the CPU cannot reach out and defeat that. There is no circuit to permit that to happen. So when you've pushed the button and the ring lights up red, Alexa is deaf and Amazon can't do anything about it. And then when you push the button again, the microphones are turned back on and Alexa behaves normally. I think now it's possible that the circuits have changed since I left. I doubt it, because this is a wonderful way to prove, because anybody can take apart an Alexa and analyze the circuitry. It's not that there's not very complicated in there, and verify that that is how this is wired up. That when you push this, the MOSFET or whatever cuts off the microphones, and there's no provision to reach back out. And that is a wonderful way to prove to people that, yes, we are privacy conscious, and you can basically make us deaf and not be able to hear you unless and until you turn the microphones back on. So it seems unlikely to me that they would change that circuitry. Furthermore, that they would be streaming all audio all the time, 24/7. Alexa uses AWS, and the Alexa Devices Group pays for AWS just like anybody else. So the cost of streaming all that data would be even more ruinous than the losses that they're claiming right now. So I strongly doubt, personally, that that's what's going to be happening with the higher end Echo devices. So I think the local processing was due to the fact that those higher end devices of necessity have more CPU power, because they've not only, I mean, this guy's just got a bunch of LEDs it needs to fiddle with. They've got displays to drive and so forth. So they probably said, we've got a little extra CPU power, we've got a little extra memory, we can add a few more things to the voice processor. Maybe if we hear the word turn on or turn off, we could do something locally. So what I think is happening, at least according to the news stories that I'm reading, is that those higher end devices will now behave as all these lower end devices always have, which is they are always listening, but they are only listening for the wake word, and only when they think they've heard the wake word will they open up and start streaming audio. And if there are people out there saying, well, clearly this is a fake video because he said Alexa a bunch of whole times and it hasn't lit up, so clearly it's not actually quote. Yeah, I know. I changed the wake word. Computer, what is the time, please?
The time is 5:20 p.m.
You can probably change the wake word on your device too. So anyway, I wanted to let people know what was going on to the best of my knowledge. It is correct to be concerned in the current socio-political climate. It is correct to be concerned about these things, but it is my feeling that you can only make good decisions when you are in full possession of the facts. These are the facts as I understand them, having been directly exposed to this from the inside. I don't think I'm violating any NDA obligations by talking about this. But yeah, so that is the story as I understand it. So that's my screed, and thank you all very kindly for watching.